Thank you, Karen Corla. I welcome this opportunity to speak on the very important issue of circumstances facing special needs assistance in this country. SNAs are the vital links between children with special needs and the school community. This important relationship should be protected and supported in every way. However, the cuts imposed on SNAs to date have disproportionately impacted on children with disabilities and their future prospects as a result. For that reason, I welcome the 18-month review of the SNA programme, which called for the broadening of the roles of SNAs from the current model of basic care provision towards the assistance of delivery of speech and language and occupational therapy. However, I call on the Government to put in place the necessary supports, financial or otherwise, so that the burden of implementing the new system is not put entirely on the shoulders of SNAs. I am delighted to hear that under the new system it would no longer be necessary for a child to receive a diagnosis of disability in order to access SNA services. Under the new model, they would receive additional training and would be known as inclusion support assistants. I hope that under the new model, students will have unfettered access to necessary supports based on their needs rather than a disability diagnosis, which should have always been the case. I would also have concerns as to whether the Government will be providing funding for existing SNAs to attend the national training programme if they do not have the requisite level of relevant training, or for inclusion support assistance on appointment. I would also call on the Government to look at existing inequalities in special needs provision in schools across the country. The Irish Times recently found that 29% of mainstream secondary schools have special classes, which rises to 42% for JS schools. However, I think it's interesting that there are no special classes in the 52 secondary schools that make up the fee-paying sector, and I think this needs to be looked into very seriously, because I think it makes a lie of the basis that education is for everybody, because obviously in the fee-paying sector it's for those who can pay, and that is the only recognition that they need. And now that we've gotten rid of the baptism barrier, we need to look at soft barriers being used by schools claiming they don't have room or resources for special classes, even though money should be following the student. Schools must be stewards of inclusivity and pave the way for all children, regardless of ability, to lead full and complete lives filled with opportunities on an equal footing to each other. And let's hope the Government's treatment of this new model departs drastically from its own past actions and treatment of the education system so far, so they can do more than provide an education, but also provide for the growth and stability of people that need it. Thank you.
Now we move back to the Rural Independent Group.